From undeniable to undesirable, John Cena is truly one of a kind. He's not just a WWE superstar, he was a symbol of everything good, the ultimate role model. Even when he transcended the WWE and moved to Hollywood, he still stayed true to himself. But with everything that's been going on in the year 2025 surrounding John Cena and the WWE, I think it's becoming more and more clear each and every single day that this dude is just full of lies and is just a hypocrite and one big fraud. Let me explain it to you guys with one example. Earlier this year in March, John Cena broke the internet by becoming a bad guy for the first time in 22 years. And I think I speak for the majority of wrestling fans when I say that John Cena as a bad guy has just not been good. And it's because the fans can see right through him. The fans can see through the BS if you don't believe in your character. Because if you don't believe in your character and what you're doing on screen, then the fans are not going to believe it. And you want to know who said these famous words? It was John Cena himself. These were John Cena's words to Austin Theory, a young man in his mid-20s that's obviously not perfect and is still learning and was also a victim of Triple H's bad booking. John Cena said that to Austin Theory's face and quite literally buried the poor guy in front of millions because he really went out there on national television and in interviews later on and said that he doesn't believe in what Austin Theory does because Austin Theory himself doesn't believe in what he does and everything he does feels super inauthentic. That's basically what he said, and it's really funny because now, fast forward 2 years later, in 2025, everything John Cena does feels super inauthentic. He always has a very fake looking bad guy face, does a very fake sounding bad guy voice in his promos, and he talks about how the fans get nothing and he's gonna give them nothing, but continues to wear unique merch for every single city. Everything John Cena is doing right now is the definition of inauthentic. And you'd think that John Cena of all people, the guy that literally said that he knows that the fans can always see through the BS and the inauthenticity and called out Austin Theory for it, you'd think that he would actually do something about it. You're telling me that John Cena can't go up to Triple H right now and say, wow dude, you really suck, you can't come up with anything good, your booking sucks, so give me creative control over my final year because I don't want to end my career with the fans not even believing in what I do. You think someone like John Cena, who's the biggest star in WWE, can't say that to Triple H's face? But he's not going to do that because he's a yes man. Triple H, The Rock, TKO, and all those guys are going to tell John Cena to do something and he's going to say yes sir and do it. And guess what, Cena? That's exactly what Austin Theory was doing. He was just doing what creative was telling him to do. Especially at that stage of your career, you just got to be a good soldier. But yeah, let's blame the young talent for being a good soldier. Let's blame the, kindergarten kid for failing the calculus test. Wow, that makes a lot of sense, right? But John Cena, on the other hand, who is a 23-year veteran, the biggest name in WWE history, and someone who is 6 months away from retiring, has no excuses to be a yes man at the expense of the fans after acting like how he truly understands how the fans spot inauthenticity. And that's not it, guys. Let me give you guys another example. John Cena was initially supposed to turn heel in 2012. In an interview with Chris Van Vliet, he revealed that WWE and Vince McMahon had pitched him a heel turn, and he said that he would do it if and only if they can go all in on it and do it 100% right. And what he meant by all in is getting rid of everything that makes John Cena the ultimate good guy. And that means new music, new gear, no more Fruity Pebbles, and that is exactly why Vince McMahon canceled those plans. Because John Cena, he's not just a wrestler or a character or a WWE superstar, he's a brand. John Cena is a very profitable brand for the WWE, and the younger audiences who WWE loves to cater to, they were the biggest consumers of this brand. So turning him heel would be a bad call, because it would mean risking millions of dollars in merchandise sales, alienating a key part of their audience, and dismantling the very image that had become WWE's most marketable and family-friendly figurehead. John Cena wasn't just a top star, he was the face of the company, he was the franchise, and for WWE, protecting that brand mattered more than exploring creative risks. But now, fast forward 13 years later in 2025, John Cena finally turns heel, but he has the same entrance, the same music, the same attires, Fruity Pebbles for every single city, and you'd think, with how John Cena made it clear that he doesn't want to turn heel unless they want to go all in on it and not half-ass it, you'd think that John Cena would have actually told Triple H, The Rock, TKO, and all those guys like, hey, if you guys want me to turn heel, I will do it for sure, but I don't want to half-ass it. I need new gear. I need new music. I literally recorded new music for myself for my supposed heel character 13 years ago. We can use that. But if you guys are not willing to take those risks, if you guys think we should still continue to sell the unique merch we've made for every single city, then I'm not going to turn heel. Let's either do this right or not do it at all. Cause it's my final year. Like, hello, did we forget about that? It's my final year and I don't want to go out with some half-ass BS. If Cena actually said that to WWE and stood on that, like you would expect him to after everything he said about committing fully to a heel turn and never insulting the fans' intelligence, none of this would be a problem. But the fact that he didn't say it, or if he did, he clearly didn't stand his ground, makes this whole heel turn feel hollow. It goes against everything he claimed to stand for back then. And I'm not talking about the character, I'm talking about the man. And now, instead of going out with a bold reinvention, Cena's final year feels like a watered down version of what could have been, not because the idea was bad, but because they didn't have the guts to go all in. If you can't commit to a character, then don't do the character. This dude was clearly lying through his teeth when he said that the reason why he didn't turn heel in 2012 was because he wanted to commit to it and WWE didn't. The reason why Vince McMahon canceled those plans is because he realized that John Cena would suck as a heel. He's not a good actor, and anybody that's watched The Marine can tell you that. He probably called John Cena to his office one day and said, "Alright, John, give me your best impression of a villain." And John Cena would have given him the corniest and cheesiest BS that would have made Vince McMahon throw up more than back when his face was up Rikishi's ass. And he would have said, "Oh God, what is this monstrosity? Get out of my office! You're never turning heel!" That's what would have actually happened, because everything John Cena said about committing to the character and going all in is just BS. Because if he really did mean that, he would stand on those words even in 2025. And yet, here we are, guys. He finally gets his long-awaited heel turn, and instead of using it as a chance to back up everything he claimed to stand for, he's phoning it in, like none of that even mattered. And look, I know some of y'all are going to say, well, have some patience, let Papa H cook, give it time. But how much time do you need when this is literally the man's final year? The clock is ticking, guys. Every single moment counts. This is the final stretch of one of the most iconic careers in wrestling history, and nobody in WWE seems to care about it. Not Triple H, not TKO, and not even John Cena himself. When Stone Cold went out in WWE, there's a reason why he specifically requested for Rock to be his final opponent. It matters. Because you see, all these legends like Ric Flair and Stone Cold Steve Austin, they all had these epic send-offs that actually felt true to their legacy. And yet somehow, the most protected, most overexposed, most heavily pushed star in WWE history is going out with a heel turn that looks like a parody of a heel turn. That's what happens when you choose to be a yes man instead of being the guy that you claim to be all these years. The guy that cares about the fans, the guy that knows what the fans want, the guy that knows that the fans can see through the inauthenticity. The guy that never wants to give the fans some half-ass BS. Instead of being that guy, all you do is just nod your head to Triple H and The Rock and WWE and just do everything they tell you to do. And especially in your final year, when you literally have only 6 months on your calendar, that should be the last thing you do. The same man who used to preach about hard work, about earning your spot, is now coasting through his final run and doing the bare minimum. And that's not just disappointing, that's insulting to the fans who stuck by him all these years, even during the times when half the arena was booing him out of the buildings. It's just sickening, man. John Cena's not doing good as a heel. He's basically playing the you people trope, but in the Halloween costume. Nothing about it feels dangerous, fresh, or real. He's just cosplaying as a bad guy. Like I said, it feels like a Halloween costume. It's like you just watched a couple of TikToks on how to be a villain and just called it a day. And when the fans don't buy it, when the fans make it clear that they're not being entertained, it's not heat. It's go away heat, and the go away heat is one of the worst reactions a wrestler can get, especially a wrestler of the caliber of John Cena. Let's be honest, this heel turn is not for storytelling. It's not for character development. It's not even for Cena. It's a corporate checkbox. It's WWE saying, hey, look guys, we finally did the thing that you wanted 15 years ago. Yay. Except now it means nothing. It's like giving someone a birthday present 6 months late and then just wrapping it in garbage. And on top of that, all of this was done just so they could sell tickets for Elimination Chamber, because Mania season was horrible and the fans made it pretty clear. Triple H, WWE, and TKO knew that Mania 41 had zero hype, and because of that, their ticket sales for the Chamber were not that great. So they had to give a phone call to The Rock, and they advertised him for the show and had him be the reason why John Cena turned heel, completely ignoring the fact that The Rock still cannot make it to WrestleMania, to give the story he started a proper payoff. And they also ignored the fact that a heel turn of this magnitude, this is John Cena turning heel we're talking about, a heel turn of this magnitude needs a lot of planning, and I'm talking a lot of planning. It cannot just be a desperate move that you make for ratings. It just cannot. And like I said, all of this just to sell out the Rogers Center for the Chamber. Like, come on, man. I get that you want to sell out, but at the expense of your top story and your top star, who is a 23-year veteran? Get out of here, man. And again, the saddest part is that John Cena knows all this. This is not some young guy who doesn't understand the business. This is a guy who's been at the very top, who's worked with the very best of the best, who literally understand crowd psychology better than 90% of wrestlers. If anybody should know that half-assing a heel turn is worse than no heel turn at all, it's Jonathan Cena. So what happened, huh? Did he stop caring? Did he sell out? Or is this just who he really is? A guy who was never capable of reinventing himself. A guy who rode the same gimmick for over 2 decades, and when it came time to switch it up, all he could manage was a cartoonish imitation of a villain without changing anything else. If this was any other wrestler, the fans would be roasting them. But because it's Cena, some people are still trying to defend it. Still trying to say, oh, just wait and see. Bro, we've seen it. We're seeing it right now. It's mid, it's lazy, it's fake. And if this is how it really ends, if this is how John Cena rides off into the sunset, then maybe the biggest heel turn of all isn't the character. Maybe it's the man himself. Anyways, that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.